Hi everyone, I'm Courtney. Today, I'm going to tell you a story to help you learn English. This is a story that my friend told to me when we were having dinner last night. And I think that it's just such a crazy story. So take a walk in the woods with me while I tell you about the best Scrabble player of all time. The best Scrabble player of all time is a guy named Nigel Richards. What is Scrabble? Scrabble is a popular board game where players take turns using tiles to create words. The goal of the game is to accumulate points based on the words that you play. The game board has different spaces with different benefits. For example, you can get triple word scores, you can get double word scores, you can get triple letter scores. There's also bonuses for using all 7 of your letter tiles in one play. I love the game Scrabble, and it's a game that my dad and I played a lot growing up. My dad would always beat me. I think I played probably 200 games of Scrabble with my dad, and I probably won 5. Nigel Richards, the world champion for Scrabble, is a whole different level. He is incredibly good at the game of Scrabble. In fact, he was so good that he won various times playing in English. He won in the UK, he won in the US, he won in Canada, he won several years in a row. No one could beat him. He was too good at playing Scrabble. After a while of playing Scrabble in English, Richards got bored. He got bored. The game wasn't challenging enough for him. He was too good at Scrabble. So he decided to start playing in another language. He decided to start playing in French. The crazy part was that Richards didn't speak French, and he didn't even learn French in order to play Scrabble in French. Richards had a different strategy. His brain was extremely good at memorizing information. Instead of learning French, Richards memorized the entire Scrabble dictionary in French. He knew every word and how to spell it. He went on to win and be the champion of the French Scrabble tournaments. He did this 2 years in a row. Reportedly, he only studied the French dictionary for about 9 months to a year before he won the championship. That is crazy to me. I do not have that level of memory at all. One interesting thing about the game Scrabble is that you can challenge your partner, you can challenge your opponent if you think the word that they played isn't a real word. For example, if someone plays a word that you think isn't in the Scrabble dictionary, you can say, "No, I'm challenging you. Let's look up that word." And if it's not in the dictionary, then that player loses their turn. That player forfeits their turn, and you get to play again. Sometimes, French players thought that Richards didn't know the language and they'd be able to trick him. French players would play words with very high point totals. French players would play words that weren't real. They thought that they could trick Richards. But no, Richards had memorized the entire French dictionary. Despite not speaking French at all, Richards would always challenge the French players, and of course, the words were fake, and they would lose their turn. Can you imagine? That's crazy. After a while, Richards got bored of playing in French. He had already won in English multiple times. He had already won in French multiple times. And so he decided to start playing in another language. He decided to start playing in Spanish. Richards took around 1 year to memorize the Spanish dictionary. Once again, he didn't know how to speak Spanish. He only knew how to speak English. He didn't know how to speak French or Spanish. He had already won in French twice. People were skeptical. Would he really be able to win in a third language? Well, it turns out that the answer is yes. In 2024, Richards won the Spanish Scrabble Championships, beating all of the other players, many of whom knew Spanish as a native speaker, or at the very least learned it in order to be able to play the game. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how in the world did this guy win the Spanish and French Scrabble Championships without knowing how to speak either language? The answer is more simple than you might think. You see, Scrabble at first seems like a game that's about words. And that's true. But Scrabble is a game that's more about strategy. Scrabble is a game that's more about knowing where the best places to put your letters are and knowing how to make the most of the opportunities that you have. One thing when I was playing Scrabble with my dad all these years that I never understood is how he beat me so often. I think I have a better vocabulary than my dad, and my grammar usually is a lot better too. My mom was an English teacher growing up, and my mom would always pick on my dad for his pronunciation and for his grammar and the way that he said things. My dad's a native English speaker, but it didn't matter. My mom always kind of made fun of him a little bit. I was so confused how my dad always would beat me in Scrabble. But now that I know that the world champion of Scrabble actually used more strategy and memorization than he did language skills, it all makes sense. It makes a lot more sense why I lost Scrabble to my dad so many times. Have you ever played Scrabble? Do you think you could play Scrabble in another language? For me personally, I think playing Scrabble in another language would be really hard. Even with the limited amount of Spanish that I know right now, I think I'd be pretty awful at playing Scrabble in Spanish. And I definitely wouldn't be the world champion. Thanks so much for listening. I hope this video was helpful in your English learning journey. And if you want to watch another video to help you improve your English, you can check out this one next. I'm Courtney. See you later.